Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Oath Fall Spring season for Overwatch. My name is Rip. I'm joined by Imperium, and we are bringing you week 8 of the regular season. This is the last week before we have our finals on this upcoming Sunday. How you doing today, Imperium?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm doing fan freaking tastic. Cannot wait. I'm looking at the date right now. Cannot wait for the 12th. That'll be a good time. And I'm excited to see who comes out on top because whoever does gets a solidified second place in the standings. They become number 2 right behind Glitch for the regular season. And that means better seeding, better chances of winning the finals, and better chance of taking home the gold.
Absolutely. This is a really important matchup. Just like you said, both teams right now 3 and 4. So whoever comes out on top tonight will be second place. So really looking forward to see what the teams bring out, knowing that it could be really anyone's game coming in. Havoc and Ember both have done such an impressive job throughout the season. So it's really just a toss up as we move into Colosseo here as our first map.
Yeah, and Colosseo, I know we were talking about it earlier, a really good map. I think genuinely, it doesn't really have any too abusive sightlines. You can really play anything and have access to the entire map, which is not super consistent across the entirety of the Overwatch map roster. Like you don't play Reinhardt on Watchpoint Gibraltar. It's just not something you do, right? So it's one of those things where it's a very good map because it fits anything you want into it. And I mean that genuinely. I know we say that a lot on broadcast, but like genuinely, Colosseo actually one of the most flexible maps in the game, bar none. And
Absolutely.
to combine that with the fact that these two teams are so even, I think, in terms of skill, we're going to be looking at quite an interesting, spicy game.
Oh, definitely. And like you said, this map is so open to really any character, not just being able to be played, but doing extremely well as that character. And with the kind of versatility we've seen from both Havoc and Ember, it really could be any sort of comp thrown at us. That can make for a really exciting matchup throughout this push. Push having you have the one robot standing in the middle, and both teams trying to push it both ways, trying to get it all the way to the other team's spawn. So we could see one comp just do extremely well, but we could see 8 different comps in just this map alone. So I'm really excited to see what the teams, whip out coming into this really intense matchup. Like we said, a lot of pressure hinging on this one final game of the season.
Yeah, and well, realistically, whenever you take a look at Ember, you can sort of pick out certain things that they do like to play. We know Xbox Bubba to be a incredible Ana, constantly landing 3 to 5 man anti nades, constantly allowing Ember to swing fights open due to the cancellation of that healing ability, and really opening things up for that team. We also know that Gabe the Guru, very very flexible, likes the Reinhardt, likes the ball, likes the Orisa, can really flex in anything. Realistically, now take a look at Galactic Rose, Sojourn player. Crow Void plays a lot of the Reaper, plays a lot of the Soldier. So I'm kind of getting a feel that we're going to be still seeing more of this sort of poke style that we've been seeing from Ember. How about you?
Yeah, absolutely. And Jubles does a great job playing the tank so aggressively, really helps to open up opportunities for the rest of their team to really do well moving in there. But like you mentioned, with the anti-nades coming from Xbox Bubba, that could really be more of a hindrance to the team. If your tank's constantly getting purpled and constantly dying, that can cause a lot of problems for the team as a whole when you're without a tank virtually every fight. But Jubilees has done a great job of playing around that in the past. Biohazard and Izzard, such a strong support matchup, and they do so well to sort of counteract those problems or play around them. So it's really exciting to see what they bring out. Biohazard in the past, such a strong support player, not just in the healing numbers and the utility they provide, but also in the damage. We were talking before stream about this. They've done such a great job of providing so much extra damage that their DPS, have so many more opportunities because a lot of the pressure is off of them and onto the support stealing damage. That opens up opportunities again. Havoc, we've seen play so well just with the opportunities they open up for each other. They play so well as a team, using communication to best to really express when these opportunities open up for each other, and they really capitalize on them in a well that helps the team as a whole do so much better.
Yeah, 110%. I mean, realistically, when you take a look at these two teams, I think these two teams side by side are so evenly matched across the board. I've been really impressed with two of our first years, right? Izzard and Xbox Bubba on either side have shown up really big in terms of utility usage, in terms of the damage outputted. I know Izzard's been killing it on the Moira, and we've already sung Xbox Bubba's praises well into the moon. Could sing it more if we'd like, but I think it's time for the chorus to be shared across the rest of the roster. And I'm genuinely really excited to see this matchup because it's such an interesting one. And whoever takes this takes home second place for the regular season.
100%. Still waiting on a couple matchups here, but in a couple seconds we'll be able to see what sort of comps they're bringing out for this first fight. And in push maps, they're kind of notorious sometimes for being so first fight dependent. Whichever team takes that first fight can have a huge advantage moving throughout the rest of it, and so it can make all the difference just by which team gets there first.
Yeah, and we saw Biohazard on the Genji. We've seen a very good Genji from Biohazard. I mean, consistently putting the pressure on the back line, constantly not allowing the enemy DPS to find the ability to have all the freedom they can. Right, we've seen him play very well against aggressive Ashes, against Baptiste and all the fun stuff. Gonna go with the Ana as they're playing support. But the Genji plays can be quite strong. Crow Void as well, and that Genji as well. Can be very nice from the side of Ember.
Absolutely. We see Izzard right now on the Alari, not one we've seen outside of last week's exhibition match. So I personally am looking forward to see how they play, especially with Jubals as the Reinhardt. Alari can be such a powerful character in the right hand, so it's a really good and exciting pick for us to see in this matchup. But like you mentioned, for the side of Ember, running a very interesting comp with Gabe the Guru as Junker Queen, Crovoid as Genji, Galactic Rose as Sojourn. We've seen them do an excellent job in the past, and Katadude and Xbox Bubba, the support pair with the Moira and Kiriko.
Yeah, I like the Jubal's Reinhardt pick. It's a very, I'm gonna say slightly uncommon one. We don't tend to see it very often, but from Jubal's we tend to see it a lot. Really like playing that Reinhardt. Really like getting into the faces of Ember, as both teams kind of poking each other, not really fighting all too much. Xbox Boba has on that Kiriko doesn't have the ability to open up these fights for Ember, but it is gonna be Croutons pushing forward first, or Havoc. I apologize, pushing forward first.
Both teams right now trying to look for a foothold into this fight, trying to get a pick to push the other teams back. And there we go for Havoc, already up 2 now, picking up the pick. And with the pick on Gabe the Guru, that's huge for them moving forward.
Yeah, Jubal was able to pick up 2, make that 3. The Reinhardt going absolutely crazy into the backline. Absolutely nuts. Now 8:45 on the clock as Havoc are going to be getting a very solid lead here. Havoc, apologies, I keep saying Croutons, going to be playing the low ground, not going to want to play too aggressively against this. Jubal's buying themselves a little bit of space now. Once again, staying safe. They don't want to get ran over too hard, especially against this Junker Queen. Shout. Staying safe, continuing at the pressure, but Gabe the Guru doesn't mention find Gainu. The Shatter already built, able to find 2. The Nano is about to come through that. Gabe the Guru doesn't eventually fall. That's going to be another pick there for the side of Galactic Rose on Jubals. Xbox able to pick up Biohazard with a very nice headshot into the backline, though. So it's a 2v3 on point, despite the Nano being given to Jubals, and that is going to be Ember taking this next fight.
A great play there from Jubals, but a really great play from Ember. Recognizing the push there, able to play around their disadvantage, caused them right at the start. They were still able to secure those kills and flip it for their side. Now we see them pushing the robot forward.
Yeah, and you've got to be really careful against that Junker Queen knife, right? Yeah, Gabe the Guru has been such a deadly force on it all season that as soon as you get pulled towards it, it's basically a game over for any squishy. and they don't have a cleanse ability realistically that Havoc does. There's a blade from Crovoid on the backline already. Biohazard will fall, and that's going to be another pick on the guy who was trying to use a tire to find any value they could. Captivating Sun used by Izzer to try to clutch this one up. It's going to be really difficult. Able to find one of the backline, but Jubal's able to trade up and give the Guru. They could even this one up quite nicely. Izzer going to be maintaining the pressure, going to be keeping the heals up. Not going to be quite enough though. It's not going to be able to trade out Crovoid. That will eventually be once again Ember taking this next fight.
Yeah, Crovoid and Galactic Rose fighting so well together, alone on the robot. Catitude finally to come in as the Lucio, provide a little bit of support, really helping them out. Havoc right now already grouped up with 3 of their players onto the robot, now 4 with Jubal's aid. Ember right now trying to stabilize.
Yeah, guy knew able to pick up Galactic Rose with a very nice set of spam there from the high ground. Played very safely, very patiently, just waited for the pick to come through, and then all of a sudden it did. Now Havoc gonna be free to put out as much pressure as they want. Jubal's already almost up to this next shatter, gonna be looking for it here. There's not a shield to get in the way, so any slam is gonna be huge. Unfortunately, I don't believe it got anybody. The cleanse is there for the side to give the Guru, who activates Rampage, picking up 2. The backline will eventually fall. Biohazard will collapse, not being able to heal themselves at all, and that is the backline once again being found by a very nice collapse here from the side of Ember.
And what an excellent counterplay there from Ember, recognizing the shatter, able to avoid it. A great pick there from Xbox Bubba and Crovoid. On to Odd Nugget, getting the huge stagger as they push this robot around the corner. But, like I was saying, excellent job recognizing the aggressive play from the Reinhardt, and gave the Guru doing a fantastic play there, jumping into their backline and picking off their supports. We saw them focusing hard on the Ana, getting that kill.
Kitsune Rush going to be allowing Ember to get so much DPS value off. They're going to be looking for any pick they can, as we're going to be seeing so much healing from Xbox to keep the rest of the team alive. There's Coalescence on the side of Havoc to keep the rest of the team alive, as well as provide pressure. Crowboy tries to go for the backline, but it's not going to be enough. Give the Guru falls as well. The DPS Coalescence coming in huge as it finds 2. The lead being taken away, or the bot being taken away now from Ember, as Havoc can get one more chance to take the lead here.
You know, Ember, both of Ember's supports able to escape, giving them, you know, a little bit of a speed advantage coming into this next fight. Both teams right now seemingly unable to get the forward spawn advantage due to the great defense played on both sides.
Yeah, I mean that bridge is deadly, and it allows actually the composition from Ember to just play so aggressively. You get that Junkrat shout and you just fall onto the back line. Shatter not able to find anything from side of Jubals as Crovoid continues trying to find pressure in the back line. We have the overclock available from side of Galactic Rose, who might be using it this turn, who might be using it this fight. The pylon goes down as well, so the healing is now halved effectively for Jubals as they're going to continue trying to find any pressure. Crovoid down to 1 HP. Look at the damage on the side of Ember. There's not really any too much support coming through, as Jubals is scaring everybody away effectively, able to find 2, make that 3, as Oddnugget activates the Sacrificer for the cleanup. That could be Havoc taking the lead here.
Jubal is being an absolute menace inside their team seemingly at all times, just swinging the hammer and getting kills, playing off extremely well for Havoc. Ember right now with 3 ultimates as of right now, coming up on a 4th from Gabe the Guru. Probably going to see a couple here. Do a really good job.
Oh, Captivating Sun does miss, and the blade comes into the backline. The shout, they're able to keep Crovoid alive for a little bit longer. Guy does a very good job of shutting it down with that Junkrat mine, who is collapsing onto Jubals. Jubals does not fall. Odd Nugget does get down low, but the Coalescence is there to keep them alive and apply pressure onto that backline. Look at the damage coming through. The cleanse is clean. And the damage from Biohazard still going to be putting out and harassing the backline. Jubals does find Catitude, but the Rampage from Give the Gru is able to pick up a little bit of picks. Tire still there from Guy Noob, still baiting cooldowns, gets 2 as well. Very well played there from side of Havoc to just basically tear apart Ember one by one.
Good shatter there from Jubals, not allowing the enemy Junker Queen to escape. You know, giving them a huge advantage as they round this corner. But, you know, what a great play there from Guy Noob with the very patient Tire, you know, waiting for the best possible opportunity. Not just getting aggressive and clicking as soon as they see an enemy. Doing a great job of waiting patiently to secure 2 late picks.
Crovoid down solo. Gainoob does once again a great job along the side of Biohazard to shut them down. The continued rush here going to be absolutely menacing on this bridge, though, as Jubal's going to be trying to hold the rest of their team alive. It will be the Junkrat doesn't end up falling, and the Soundbarrier is available for Kaiju, but they do get a little too aggressive. Biohazard's able to pick them up. The Soundbarrier was available to them, but it's not going to be enough, and that is going to be a nice pick there for the side of Havoc. They might take a fight here.
Yeah, Havoc with that little bit of an advantage, and with the forward spawn for Havoc, that can go a long ways in getting them just past this little bump that they need to get that final push.
Gabe the Guru taking so much damage despite having their entire team there. You can't really play all too aggressive. And Crovoid has been absolutely checked the entire game. And all thanks to Gainoob and Biohazard. There is the Captivating Sun that is able to find somebody. Gabe the Guru does eventually fall. Izzard still doing tons of damage on that Alari. And still, even though they're getting harassed by the backline, once again, this peel from Biohazard it's too good. It's too good. Havoc is playing like an absolute unit right now.
And Jubal's once again inside the enemy backline, swinging the hammer, doing well. We see the coalescence come from Biohazard and the huge purple there from Gabe the Groovy with the rampage.
Yeah, coalescence from Biohazard are going to be keeping the rest of the team alive as well. Gabe the Groovy was able to pick up Odd Nugget despite the fact that they had the pressure available to them with the rampage. Still, though, the rest of Havoc will continue to crumble, and that will be another reset. But look at this. They have 1 minute on the clock here and a significant lead.
Absolutely. Ember, looking really strong coming around this corner, trying to take away that forward spawn from Havoc. Havoc being forced to back up now, but we see several ultimates coming for Ember. Havoc with one of their own coming into this fight.
The Shatter is available. The Soundbarrier is there to keep the rest of the team alive, and it is going to be enough to basically negate that, as well as the Blade coming in the back line. Crovoid's able to pick up two. On Nugget and Izzer both go down. That's going to be a third as well. Galactic Rose able to pick up Jubal's. The Tire comes through. He's going to be able to pick up Expert and Attitude. No supports online now. Gainoob could be looking to clutch this one up with a singular Junkrat attempt, but it won't be enough, and Ember will continue making progress.
10 seconds left on the clock. All Havoc needs is one team fight win in order to flip this into their favor and giving them the win on this map. But Ember, again, looking so strong coming around here.
Yeah, Crovoid will eventually fall, though. Once again, more peel there from side of Biohazard. I'm not going to has Sacrificer, but will eventually get found. Glad that Gabe the Guru, absolute menace on that Junker Queen, doing so much damage to that squishy backline. Continue rush available to them as well. Picks up two. Biohazard, Gainoob is there as well on the Junkrat. Biohazard able to pick up one. Overtime is taking down. That is going to be the game. That was crazy. Actually crazy.
Absolutely, such a strong showing there from Ember around that point, but Havoc, playing around what was thrown at them and doing an excellent job of cleaning up that final fight, giving them the edge they needed in order to win that map.
Yeah, we're going to see this Blade here. Able to pick up three in the backline. Immediate kill on the Odd Nugget so that the DPS pressure wasn't there. Finds Izzard as well. And despite the fact that Biohazard's been such a threat to Crovoid in the backline, it just wasn't enough. The very end of that play as well, a Tiger that picked up two. And not only did it pick up two, it picked up both supports. Ember went into that last fight with 0 supports and with 10 seconds left on the board. So I honestly think that Tiger was incredibly clutch.
Absolutely, even though they had the numbers advantage, Ember did, because Grovo's amazing Blade play of the game there. Havoc was able to secure that win simply because the supports were both so far staggered. They had to walk such a long ways to get to that point, and they just weren't able to do it quick enough for the countdown to end before they got there. And that gave Havoc such a huge advantage. Ember without any healing makes it so difficult to do anything in the game of Overwatch.
Yeah, and not even meant to mention that Havoc had the spawn advantage as well, right? So despite the fact that Ember was going in after a team kill, they only had 3 members. Havoc was able to get back with all 5, collapse on the point, find the fight win, and take over Colosseo in what was a beautiful showing of strength. And to just paint it out as well, they held Ember on their corner of Colosseo for minutes. I mean, like a solid 5-6 minutes. So it was just a very strong showing from Havoc. Very very close as we saw in the first match of the night. Colosseo is Now it is going to be up to Ember, as they were the losers of this map, to figure out where they want to go, what strategy they want to play, who they're going to try to become in order to beat Havoc.
Absolutely. As we approach this next hybrid map, it could really be anybody's game. We saw such a tight matchup there in the last one that a hybrid, playing the attack and playing the defense could really, help Ember flip the side into their own favor, maybe pick up this map, give them a little bit of advantage momentum wise moving forward. But, as well as both sides played, I really could see it go either way, especially moving on to this next map.
Yeah, and that next map will be Blizzard World. So very interesting. Blah blah blah. I'm expecting some poke here from Ember, which is interesting because it's not the typical Jugger Queen esque like rush that we see from them. It's well, at least IMO. It's not a map really built for that, right? You want to stay, keep a distance. You want to rain hell from above. You want to sort of poke your enemy from afar as they're forced to walk that extremely long sideline, especially on point A, and try to hold them there.
Absolutely. A sort of unexpected pick from them, but could be a really great one. Maybe they're trying to bring out a different comp or, really focus on the strengths of their own. Like you mentioned, especially on that first section of the map, trying to capture that point can be really difficult both offensively and defensively for the Junker Queen to do well. But, with the sort of flank capabilities we've seen from Crovoid and Galactic Rose, there is still a very high chance that they're able to get several early picks, maybe from a crazy Genji kill or a good snipe from the Sojourn that could really give them a huge advantage and give them that numbers advantage they need to get in there. And once they're in that point, it's gonna be a really great time for their Junker Queen to be able to do well once they're on that point and Havoc are then having to play, more of the attack and get more aggressive to try to push them back off of it.
Yeah, 110%. And I honestly think Havoc is going to play that aggression, right? They're not going to sit back. They're not going to wait. Um, Considering that they do like also their own sort of brawl style, they're not ones to sit back, right? They just don't. It's not their play style. They play the Junkrat. They play the Reaper. They play the Reinhardt. Long sightlines are neither one of these teams' fortes from what we've seen this season. I will say a few of these guys do have history playing those more long range characters. I'm looking more specifically at Guy Noob on the Soldier from previous seasons, but from what we've seen this season, it's just not something that we're used to. So, what are they planning? What are they thinking? What is going on in the brains of the children that we are watching play games? Because we know here on Oath, they're incredibly unpredictable.
Absolutely, especially on these hybrid maps. We've seen Blizzard World, Kings Row almost always brings out something crazy from one, if not both, of the teams that are playing it. These hybrid maps make for some extremely interesting, sort of matchups from both teams here.
As we're having a face spelling off in the chat. But yes, looks like both teams are ready, or at least just Ember's ready. So as we're gonna be swinging into this map in just a minute. Yes, very crazy. Always crazy. We love Oath. The amount of energy that comes from these guys, um, as we the amount of energy that comes from these guys, every time we get to watch them, every time we get to see them play, you can feel it through the screen because they do some crazy stuff, okay, that you wouldn't typically see in an Overwatch game, and that's part of the fun, right? They're learning to play as a team. They're getting all that crazy energy out. Parents, I'm sure you're glad they have an outlet to get all that energy out because let's be honest, none of us have that amount of energy anymore. And you'll get to see them in person in finals this Sunday.
Absolutely, and that's something you definitely don't want to miss. Whether or not you're a fan of the game or just the kids in general, it always seems to be such a fun time for everybody involved. We saw last finals, had a ton of fun, an all day long event, seeing all kinds of crazy teams show up and play. Finals so exciting. We saw, I believe, in the semifinals, we were just talking about how crazy Kings Row can be, but I believe in the semifinals we saw, like a 7-point game or something like that something absolutely bonkers for a final matchup.
We saw a 7-point game that ended because a 4-man freeze was followed up by the enemy's 5-man blossom. And that was, I think, just just bananas. All right. Anyways, enough about like fangirling over previous games. We're here to play this one. We're here to see who's going to take second place between Havoc and Ember. Havoc have looked really strong so far. If they win this map, they take second seed. They take second place in the finals. But Ember have a chance, and it is best of 3. So win this one, win another one. You will have the flip book.
Absolutely, and like you said, a lot of pressure on Ember right now. Winning this can make a huge difference coming for them. Like I mentioned earlier, give them a little bit of a momentum boost coming into the last map if they are able to win this. But if they do lose, they got a 50-50 chance as tied for third. They've got a 50% chance of playing Glitch first match in the finals. And as strong as Glitch has been, I really don't think that either team wants that to happen.
Yeah, 110%. I look at this look though. We're seeing a bit of a different shebang coming in from the side of Ember. They're playing the ball on Gabe the Guru. Now Gabe the Guru isn't Lazy Titan, but can still play a formidable ball. Still is a menace to society, and against this brawl, I expect they're gonna have a few issues.
No, I think it could be a really smart play. Maybe not so much the wrecking ball, but if all that wrecking ball does is distract the team from the Echo and Croboid on the Genji, then they're gonna be able to do well. Now we do see the pick there on Decatitude, leaving Ember without their speed.
Yeah, though a trade comes in, that Alari is down. Now you've only got the Mercy available to them. That Mercy's going to be looking for the res, but look at the pocket here for Galactic Rose. I mean, that is just absolutely terrifying again with an Echo. Finds a secondary pick. Odd Nugget does eventually fall on that castle. He was trying to counteract that strategy. Jubal's looking for a few hammer string swings, trying to pick off that Echo. High ground, not taking over here for the side of Embers. They're going to continue poking away. Galactic Rose will eventually get found. Crowwood's able to trade up for Biohazard as well. No supports online for the side of Havoc, but the Alari will be back. Izzard will be back in just a minute. Gabe the Groove getting down extremely low, trying to find any picks they can. Almost able to pick off Gainu, but he has the support available to them. Izzard comes back just in the nick of time. Jubal's able to take out Catitude once again. Lucio not having a great time on this point. Crowvoid finds a pick, traded out with Odd Nugget. It's trades. It's just trades. It's just trades. How long is the fight going to keep going? How long are they going to keep pushing until it resets? Crowvoid, the only one remaining, should be dipping out of here and finally Havoc secure their foot back on the point.
Yeah, that res giving them a really big numbers advantage, bringing back a full 5 team for that defense. That's huge. And like you mentioned, it was just back and forth, looking like anybody's game. Ember doing a really good job of playing their characters well and together. We see, the minds come out from Gabe the Guru. Crovoid with the pick there.
Yeah, Crowvoid able to take out Izzard, and that is absolutely massive. And a trade there from side of Jubilees to get Catitude out. So support for support. Lucio for Lucio. Actually, whenever you take a look at it, Gabe the Guru is able to trade Odd Nugget as well. And the ball coming out extremely strong from Gabe. Just so consistently. Jubilees trades it once again. And neither team can really choose when they want to give this one up, when they want to call it quits, because they're so close to trading it out every time. There's another trade. I can't keep up with the kill feed. Izzard picks up Xbox Mama, and that is going to be the only thing that decides this fight. Once again, Havoc somehow managed to squeeze victory.
Havoc just doing an excellent job of keeping Jubal's alive, and Jubal's just constantly swinging and getting those picks, securing those trades. Fantastic job, allowing their team to get back, regroup as a side. But we do see 3 ultimates for the side of Ember. Havoc with 2 of their own. Could be, some really strong combos coming in from Ember.
Yeah, Crowvoid to that blade is going to be an absolute menace. They don't have a sound barrier or anything to sort of counteract it, and already Gabe the Guru is able to pick up, Gainu, I apologize, is able to pick up Gabe the Guru, who, all with that Blossom as well, going to be able to pick up X-Victoba as well. That's going to be it. That was the quickest team fight we've had so far, and it cost 2 ultimates.
Absolutely. Now, final fight of the game, perhaps the match. 30 seconds left. Ember having to rush back onto that point and flip it in that 30 seconds, this is could be last fight here on the defense for Havoc.
Yeah, I mean, this is a really, really. I don't know how they've managed to win every single trade that Ember tries to put them up against. That is actually, like, statistically unlikely. Now the Echo copy going to be building up that Shatter here in just a second if they're able to get to it. The Shatter instead laid down as well as the High Noon to follow that
The
line. Oh, they're
crazy
going to pick up
noon
3.
there from
That's
Odd
going to be it.
Nugget.
What are you going to do? That's going to be it. That picks up 3. Jibbles able to clear the Athletic Rose. The Hinder is going to be there to slow down the ball, who will eventually get picked off. Catitude does fall. Minefields, not
And
going to
there
pick
it
up
is.
anybody. And that is going to be a full hold there from Havoc.
What an insane play from Odd Nugget. We saw early on, right before the beginning of the fight, they snuck off, tried to get up those stairs for the flank, waiting patiently for the right time and finding it perfectly, able to secure 2 and end the duplication there for Ember's Echo. Really great play there from Havoc.
Now, Ember, they have to do as good. They don't have a choice. They have to hold a singular tick as we take a look at Murderlock Island. I don't know if we're actually on the map again. I may have spoiled that again. But but
Murloc
Ember,
Island looks a little
they
haunted.
have to hold for a full 4 minutes on one tick.
Got a lot of ghosts back there surrounding Murloc. But as you said, yeah, this could be a very quick fight unless Ember is able to secure a really strong defense, which we have seen from them in the past.
That's a spooky shark. I
The
don't like
shark,
sharks.
some crazy teeth on that shark.
Yeah, I mean that was like kind of wild. That was like goblin shark stuff.
I definitely agree. But here
um,
we go. We got 15 seconds coming up. Havoc ready to roll. We see Jubal's on the Doomfist. Not something we've seen much of in the past. It looks like they're just going to go full speed. We got Biohazard on the Lifeweaver, Izzard on the Kiriko. It looks like their plan is just full speed, go through and wipe them out as quick as possible.
yeah, Crovoid on the far, but without the mercy, it's gonna be a little difficult for them to stay alive for too long. Pause does come through before the map begins, and as we mentioned, 4 minutes on the clock here to hold one singular tick. I mean, it has been done before. It can. Will it happen? We will just have to wait and see.
Absolutely. Like you mentioned, we've seen crazier games in the past. I believe we've seen a 6-minute hold or something like that on Kings Row before, so it's definitely a possibility. But with these comps coming out, some very interesting matchups. Like you mentioned, Crovoid on the Pharah could do a lot of damage, especially with only Odd Nugget there to sort of help counter that. But it's going to rely quite heavily on support from the team. And Xbox to Bubba, as always, does a great job as Ana. So it definitely could be done. But I'm really excited to see what they bring out in terms of these DPS matches here. We've got Galactic Rose on the Sojourn, Guy Noob on the Reaper, and Guy Noob has had some crazy plays. They always seem to be that one that gets quite a few little picks every now and then. Nothing super crazy until the Blossom comes out. They get 3, maybe 4 kills almost
Mhm.
every single time. So kind of that sort of surprise player we see brought out with the crazy Blossom. So excited to see what they bring. And Odd Nugget always such a strong soldier.
And that's going to be one of the biggest things that Ember has to take a look out for, right? Because you lose a member, and you don't have a spawn advantage. Spawns are very even on this first point for both teams. Excuse me, I
Absolutely, it's such a
apologize.
long walk from both
Huge,
sides.
huge. But on Havoc's side, they've got speed. They've got a soldier. They've got a reaper. They've got a doomfist. They've got a Kiriko. Uh, and I think the only really slow one there is the Lifeweaver, who still has a pedal, and an ability to dash. Um, so it's going to be very, very, very demanding for Ember to sort of stay alive, to sort of continue holding strong against something that could be causing them a lot of pressure. Now we haven't seen a whole lot of Doomfist from Jubals, but I have a feeling that's a little bit of a pain day coming into Xbox Bubba.
If they play Doomfist anywhere near with the same amount of aggression that they play Reinhardt, I'm really excited to see what they bring in here. Xbox Bubba is probably going to need some help with some of the flanks being brought forward here.
Yeah, we're going to be heading right back into the game as the pause has resumed. 3 minutes and 50. Catitude did despawn, so they're luckily they're on the Lucio. They're going to be able to get back in time for the first fight to begin. but now Ember has to play back just a little bit safer.
Great rotation early from Havoc, trying to work around that central choke point.
Yeah, I'm very clean. Already Jubal is trying to go into the backline. Look at that nice sleep there from the side of Xbox Bubba and an anti-nade on top of that. Going to be scaring Jubals away for just a few seconds. Granted, that anti-nade on a 12-second cooldown now is going to be a little bit more important to use, I guess I could say, on specificities. Jubals still holding strong. But look at the damage coming from Crovoid. Getting close, picking up Odd Nugget, getting close, picking up Jubals. The damage is strong as does get down to half. Will have that super punch available to them, trying to find the backline, anybody available to them. Crovoid able to take out one, but it does get traded out. Jubal's able to take out Catitude. It will be back quick. Crovoid picks up a third. That's crazy. The Far are doing absolute nuts right now, and that will be another hold.
Yeah, Crovoid already with their ultimate. They were able to do so much damage, just throwing so much spam at their faces because no pressure was really being thrown at them. Like I said earlier, that could really be a make or break for the side of Havoc if they're unable to counter Crovoid on the Pharah.
Yeah, and I mean, we're still seeing Odd Nugget on that soldier, right? Who does kind of counter it, and if Izzard on that Ana can really focus it down, that's gonna be huge. But Izzard falls to the Pharah before even getting a chance to really shoot, and to really even get a chance to sort of try to pick off Crovoid. Yeah, very solid set of mechanics here.
Absolutely. We do see several ultimates coming on for both teams, heavily favoring Ember, however, as they still are trying to get around this point.
There's a Tree of Life for the side of Havoc. It's going to be keeping them alive against the Pharah damage numbers. Crovoid activates the barrage. Going to be able to pick up nobody as Odd Nugget trades out with the Tackle. Going to be able to pick up one, make that two. Izzard falls. Izzard makes Game the Guru fall. Galactic trades it up for Goobles. Jubals, I apologize, but it's just so much pressure with that attack visor opening things up. Ultimate's not able to be used in time, and that is going to be it and the series. Havoc take it 2-0 and are officially second place.
Crazy matchup there. Amber doing such a great job with that hold, but Havoc using that speed to their advantage, getting a couple early kills, and they just didn't have enough time on the clock to be able to recover from it.
Yeah, and we're seeing already, like, look at how quickly this was. I mean, Crovoid was playing Pharah for a minute and a half, I think, maybe two. You know, uh, good stuff there. Just basically stealing the map away. But Havoc came in strong. They knew exactly what they were doing. They had a plan. They hatched it directly, and they were able to hold Ember to such a standard that realistically becomes very difficult to uphold. Full holding for 4 minutes past a single tick, while doable, is incredibly difficult. Havoc put Ember in that situation and were able to pressure them out of it.
Absolutely. A really great game there. Havoc now moving up to second place. Ember tied for third. Really looking forward to see how well these teams come ready to play on Sunday.
Yep, don't miss it one bit. Also, swing by on Thursdays. I believe we're having a Valorant match as well. This is the second half of the family. If you're interested in esports and any more other games that could be interesting to you, swing by on Thursdays to watch our Valorant matches. Same time, same place. Just different people, different faces, and a whole different side of the community. Also, don't forget to I don't know if we need tickets, but show up to the finals. Do it. Whatever you got to do,
Absolutely.
just show up to the finals. Just do the thing. Just if you're not, you're a goober, you're square, you're triangle. If you're living in another state, I kind of get it, but still try if you can. And we will see you guys then because it's going to be one heck of a ride.